Breakfast in Kingston Town. It's 21 minutes past 9. We are chatting this morning to Queen guitarist Brian May, a legend in our midst. Vania.
There was talk a while ago that Queen would resuscitate and that you were looking for a substitute for Freddie. I was just horrified. It hasn't happened. Do you think there's still a possibility it might in future?
Well, I think those reports were very unofficial. We've never wanted to replace Freddie, and I don't think, emotionally I couldn't deal with it. I don't think that's in the intentions at all. It's nice to work with people, that's what we're doing here. It's like, some of this thing is almost like Queen Plus, and we've done a few things like that. And we're close to a few people, but there's never, these things have always been in the press, but they haven't come from us. Queen are going to reform with George Michael, Queen are going to reform with Robbie Williams. Well, we love working with these guys, but we don't want to, no one's going to be the fourth member of Queen again.
What's it like traveling the world, being on the other side of the world, and still having people recognize you and stop you? Do you get tired of being, obviously you don't get tired of it.
It's a very mixed blessing, Nick. In some ways I'm very grateful and blessed. It's great that people care about what we do, and that's a wonderful thing. All around the world people come up and say, hey, I heard this and it changed my life. That part is wonderful. The other stuff, like the celebrity thing, is really gets tiresome very quickly. In less than 30 years, in about 30 days, I challenge anyone not to get slightly pissed off with this sort of business of being expected to be some kind of celebrity figure. It's boring, and it interferes with your life. I'm out in the street with my kids, I'm trying to get them across the road, and someone's pushing a piece of paper under my nose. It's that part isn't fun. Why would you want to sign pieces of paper? And people might think it's glamorous, but I tell you get sick of it very quick. But the fact that people enjoy our music around the world is wonderful, and I never ever would get tired of that. I'd never take that for granted.
Because I always tend to think, if Brian May got tired of the publicity, you'd have your hair cut.
Well, you don't have to cut it. You can put a hat on, and that makes quite a bit of difference. I'm not going to give you all my secrets, but yeah, I can choose anonymity if I want to a point. But you don't want to be. It's like being in a prison. You want to be able to be yourself. So you don't want to be kind of imprisoned by your celebrity status or whatever. I mean, that did happen to Freddie to a certain extent. He was so incredibly recognisable that it was hard for him to go out at all, and he became quite reclusive. Just because he didn't want it. You have a choice, and then everybody makes their choice.
Did he hate that as well, people stopping him all the time?
He didn't have much patience, Freddie, it has to be said. He was dedicated to his work, and anything that got in the way of that, he had no time for. He wasn't keen on signing autographs or whatever. But, God bless him. I think people understood that and realised that he was dedicated to what he did best, which was being an artist.
Well, and many would say that you guys did it better than anybody. We took a poll early this morning, Brian, everybody's favourite Queen songs of all time. Put the full list, the top 10 online at kfm.co.za. At number 3, Crazy Little Thing Called Love. At number 2, I Want to Break Free. And this, as number 1, not surprisingly... Your choice, the number 1 Queen song of all time. Full list online at kfm.co.za as per your votes. Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody at KFM Breakfast. Celeb Wednesday this morning with Brian May, a real honour. Brian, you guys owned world music for the best part of 15 years. Is it easy to find highlights? Are there things that stand out when you look back?
I suppose Live Aid would have to be a big one. A great memories. One of those moments where people just get together and forget their egos, and it's all for the right reasons. So those moments are great. But around the world, wow, I mean, incredible. All kinds of incredible things. The first time in Japan, the first Rock in Rio. I mean, so many wonderful moments.
Favourite Queen song?
In the days when we were touring 9 months a year, the favourite was We're the Champions, because no matter how tough that particular night might have been, maybe things are out of tune, or the sound isn't good, or there's problems, you get to the first notes of We're the Champions and it's going to work. It was just that's a favourite to play. Rock You and Champions together with Bohemian Rhapsody, I suppose, are the big linchpins of our stage show, and they've become a linchpin of the musical too, which is great. But there's other stuff.
You talk about Freddie a lot, Brian. Is there a very real sense of longing, of missing Freddie?
You go through various stages. It's like losing a member of the family. It never goes away, and I feel like Freddie's presence is always with us, and yeah, we talk about him every day. I don't feel that sadness the whole time now. There's a sort of curtain drawn across, I suppose. Certain things will trigger it in me, and I'll get upset, and then I'll have to go away. But mainly I just feel the gratefulness and the joy that we had what we had, and he's still you know, I feel like his presence is around, and if he's watching, you know, he's enjoying it. He's having a little giggle, you know, and he's probably amazed at the fact that we're all still out here, still doing it in some form. And I feel good about Freddie. That's the long and short of it. Having gone through all the grief and the trying to get away and stuff, I feel just great about the fact that we built what we built.
But the show must go on, I suppose, and here you are. This is what you do.
I love to play. I love to play the guitar, and I love to work on ideas. The ideas are the seeds which grow into those trees which cover the earth with good stuff. And it's a joy. That's all I can say. But, you know, thank God I'm still able to walk around and lift my guitar. I don't know how long that'll last.
Brian, it's been an absolute privilege. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here, and we'll be back soon. I have this strong feeling we'll spend a lot of time here. Hi folks, this is Brian May. You're listening to Nick on KFM Breakfast.